So welcome to Boxing Media Hub, and yes, I've got the boy I've been after for some time. Finally managed to land him. We got Robbie Davies Jr. How you doing, Robbie?
What's happening? You're all right? Yeah, sounds. You good?
Yeah, really good, thanks, mate. It's lovely to have you on, and it feels like ages since we've seen you, mate.
Yeah, it feels like ages, like March now. Do you know what I mean? I know it was an injury, but obviously people thought it was a bad injury, but I was like, so when you get that mentally in your head, I was like, I'll be ready in 12, 15 weeks. They were like, oh, all right. And then within 20 weeks, I run a marathon. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes it's like, because I remember leaving the hospital at like 6 weeks, and like someone who'd been in cast longer than me had just went out, and they were like, that woman is like same break as you, but 2 months before you. And I just said to them, well, the difference is I want to get better. They're just happy to get on with things. I was doing absolutely everything possible, getting the best physio, the best rehabilitation. I had some swanky doctor who done the operation for me. Do you know what I mean? So I done everything to be back as quick as I could. And now that I am back, everything's just stagnated a little bit. I'm just keeping myself fit, keeping myself on the ball, and waiting for what opportunity comes up next.
Have you been watching, sort of keeping an eye on the boxing while you've been sat at home, or is that too much of a killer to?
No, like I'm a boxing fan at the end of the day as well. Like I always know everyone's fights. Like I think I look at BoxRec more than anyone else in the world. You know?
Yeah.
just like checking weights and who's been moved and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, like since that loss, what I taken because obviously it went down as a loss with me leg and that. Like so, BoxRec have absolutely blew me out the water. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm completely nowhere now. But I think well, I carry myself in that way. Like I think that there's only like a handful in Britain. Like I should be amongst them top 5. Do you know what I mean? But at the moment, because of the rankings and things like that, and BoxRec's obviously only a website. It's not the official sites. I think it's a little shite at the moment. But when they put you like number 1, you're like, fucking BoxRec's the one.
Yeah.
So
praise them when it's in your favour. When it's not, what do they know?
So just gotta fucking sit tight until I can blitz someone and get back in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you got a date in mind, or is it just waiting on fights? Because I know it must be frustrating.
Yeah, like I'd like to fight in the first quarter. Do you know what I mean? Like I've stayed fit, I've stayed ready. The only thing I haven't done is I haven't put me stamp on what gym I'm gonna like officially train out of. But I feel like I don't want to go through that process of getting someone until I have something at least penciled in. Fight, you know what I mean? I don't want to go through the process of making, because I'm the type of fighter, I make a bond with the trainer, and I go through a lot first, and I don't want to go through all that where I might have 6 months of just going back and forth from a gym and not having anything penciled in. But my gut feeling tells me something is going to come up soon. Like I have had fights offered to me, but some are just like too big for me. Wrong offers. People like walking around nearly like middleweight, asking me to fight them at welterweight. Do you know what I mean? And they're not like, I don't want to start name dropping. They're not just anyone's. Do you know what I mean? Good fighters. And but I was open to obviously continue with Matchroom, but they haven't offered me nothing yet. But some of the other British promoters have sent me some offers, and obviously I'm waiting to hear back on a few things as well. So I'm just sitting tight at the moment. You know what I mean? So
you sticking with Matchroom for the meantime, or is it a case of if someone comes out?
I'm not signed to Matchroom. Do you know what I mean? I'm not signed to anyone. Like ideally, I thought Matchroom would have offered me something by now, but they haven't. And obviously, everyone knows I'm a free agent. So the other promoters have, well, not the actual promoters themselves, but like their matchmakers have been in contact with me about certain fights. So I'm just holding tight. I've just got to keep my head in the game, really. Just keep doing what I'm doing, keep training, keep ticking over. And when the right fight comes up, I'll be ready to take the opportunity. And then I'll probably know who's going to train me, like more or less straight away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And as you say, it's exciting times for boxing as well, isn't it? There's so much going on, and the fights are really starting to pour in 2024 as well. And looking back at last year, I know there was ups and downs in boxing with sort of failed tests here and there and all that sort of thing. But
yeah,
I think it ended well, didn't it? Let's be honest, it ended on a positive.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you look over the year, there was some great shows last year from all the networks. Do you know what I mean? I feel like everyone really raised the game, and then you finished the year with all the networks joining together on that Saudi show, which was probably one of the best shows of the decade. Do you know what I mean? Especially with some of the names that was on the show and some of the fights and the way the fights delivered. I think every fight ended out in a knockout, didn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Like it just it did what they wanted it to do, didn't it? Put them on the map.
So as you were saying, I think boxing on a whole finished great.
Yeah. Well, we've got people pouring in for you, Robbie. Can't wait for this one, Joe. A top man is Mr. Davies Jr. Zero pucks given. That's a good name. Love Robbie. He was great with me and Scott on packing punches in the summer just after his injury. Looking forward to seeing you back, Rob. Mate, there's loads of love out there for you, I tell you. Hakan, how is your promotional situation with Matchroom now? When are you hoping to be back? I would love to see you against Harlem Eubank.
Do you know what? I've always fought on Matchroom shows since I won the British in like 2018, and I've always been under contract, or my contract is finished, and then I've got another contract. But at the moment, I'm not under any contract at all, and I'm a free agent. But and Harlem Eubank is that's definitely a fight I'm interested in anyway. I'm just not 100% if he's wanting to fight at 140 or 147. But I'll half contradict myself if I start going, oh yeah, I'll fight Harlem at 147. But some of the big lads at 147, or I've said no to fighting them. So I just need to see what gets put in front of me first before I make any rash decisions. But Harlem's definitely a fight I'm interested in, yeah.
Yeah, we got Mighty Max Boxing. Love Robbie, had him on the channel a couple of months ago. People are saying, would love the Harlem fight for Robbie. Mate, I just think there's so much love out there for you, to be perfectly honest. People have missed you, and Bugger Box Rec, they've got it wrong at the moment. They forget that you were Commonwealth, British and European champion, I think, mate.
Someone needs to, so that's what I'm saying. Like, not saying anything against the kids that are above me, but some of them have never even been in a championship fight. They're just unbeaten, off beating no ones, or they've been a bit more active than me, but fought no one. Like, I'm like, I don't know how it works, but anyway, do you know what I mean?
I've seen people out of a fight longer, and they don't move on any of the,
Yeah, do you know what? It's just like I said, it's snakes and ladders. 1 minute you're happy with it, 1 minute you're not. So just gotta take the bitter with the sweet. But someone needs to get on Nissy and Callie and just say, just hurry up and stop messing around and get on Robbie over the Harlem fight. I can even tell them I'll even take them out after it. I know they like a night out.
Foley ducking the rematch.
Do you know what? I don't reckon he is. I just don't think Matchroom had it. Like, they told me they were going to make the rematch, and then I got ready as quick as I was, and then they told me they don't have any interest in the rematch. So I think that's more or less just it. I don't think they want to pay me and him to fight each other. They'd rather use me and him to fight other fighters. But like I was saying, they just haven't made me any offers at the moment. And the one offer they have made me turned down because it was on short notice and he was a lot bigger than me, basically.
Also, Jam has come in. Also, the rematch. I get this wrong every time. Valenzuela. After that points loss after filling in for Anthony Fowler. Would love to see him avenge that defeat.
That fight I took on 2 weeks' notice because I was meant to be fighting Sandor Martin in Wembley, and then can't remember what happened, but they said it's been changed now anyway, and it's in Spain, and it's in 3 weeks' time. And my team at the time were like, Robbie's not going to Spain, like, to fight him. Like, he owned half of the promotional. Do you know what I mean? They were like, and like, since then he's went on and beat Mikey Garcia. And like, if you'd have seen the money I was getting offered to pay for him, it was no, like, I knew how good he was, and I was like, I'm not fighting him for that in his back garden. And my team at the time were thinking the same. So then they took me off the show. And then I remember walking into the gym. I was training in Sheffield at the time. And Domingo went, "You've got to fight." And I was like, "Who against?" And he was like, "This Mexican. We've never seen him. No one knows him. There's no videos of him, but he hasn't really been in with anyone." Since then, he's now the #1 Mexican in the world. And when he showed up with the Canelo team tracksuits on. He was signed by Canelo. And I was like, fucking hell. Fucking whoop this one under my eyes. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, I'm not saying he was any better than me. It was like, if you watch the fight, obviously me and Dom split after that fight. There was a big thing over the wanting to keep me southpaw, and I wanted to go back orthodox because I'm not a southpaw. But obviously in the Ingle gym, that becomes like a natural thing that they do all the time. But it just wasn't working for me in that fight. Like, if I got the opportunity to fight him again, I'd be right up for it. But I'm sure he's another one. I'm not 100% if he's moved up a weight as well now.
Yeah,
like,
this is
the
thing.
Like I said, I'm never off that box rec, and I've seen that he's in the welterweight rankings now. Do you know what I mean?
You've got shares with Box Rec, haven't you?
I swear down, they better give me a sponsorship. The amount of times I've mentioned them on this.
I think that's the thing, though. You don't have to be out or be out of boxing very long or be injured for very long for stuff to just totally change. Change. It can just, it's so rapid, isn't it?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, if I get matched up with someone good and then I beat someone, I'll be right back in there. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I am confident with most of the names that I get mentioned around me at 140. I'm very confident. Do you know what I mean? I think people, hopefully, a lot of them look at it and think, "Oh, well, he's just been beat by Foley," because some of them don't look into like what actually happened, and they just go on BoxRec and said he got knocked out by Darryl Foley, because that's what they put down, when they don't realise my legs snapped. Do you know what I mean? Don't be wrong.
To be fair to him, Robbie, they wrote it on there.
What's that?
About your ankle. They've wrote about your ankle on BoxRec.
Oh, do you know what? I don't even know. Like, the one thing I don't look at on BoxRec is myself, because it just knocks me sick seeing I fell off the wagon so much. Like, honestly, I cannot even look at myself. Every time I look at it, I'm getting further down. I'm like, I don't even know him. I'll beat him. I don't know him. It's just like, it's one of them. Do you know what I mean? But we just keep thriving. We keep thriving, and we'll get there. We'll get back up there sooner or later.
Honestly, mate, it's just good to see you looking so well, mate. And congratulations with the marathon as well.
Double marathon.
Incredible.
Yeah, and I've just signed up for my first ultra. So I'm doing 50 miles at the back end of March. So I'll see how that one goes. My feet were in bits. I'm not messing. I'm not messing. My feet are going to end up in a museum. They're that battered.
But honestly, mate, it's so great to have you on, and I really appreciate your time. I know, buzzing for what's to come. You've got a massive fan base. Everyone's missed you, mate, and we're just looking forward to seeing you do what you do again. But before you go, Beterbiev versus Smith. That's a cracker, isn't it?
Big fight, that. Because I remember watching a thing on Sky Sports. I think it was what's his name? Who's fighting Buatsi?
Aziz.
Oh yeah, Aziz. Sorry, yeah. And he was talking about when they went over sparring, and he said they were like all in a huddle, and they were like, "Right, you're in first. You've got to tire them out." And there was like, they were working out in a spar, all jumping in and out, how to tactically get through the thing. So I was thinking, fucking hell, he must be that good. But I do feel that, and this is not just saying this because Callum's a Scouser, I honestly believe this, but Beterbiev has been hurt a few times.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I don't think there's anyone in any weight in the UK that has got a knockout highlight reel as good as Callum Smith's. So I think if he can be it and he can be it, and Callum, I feel like moving up in weight, he's even more dangerous than he was at super middleweight. I just feel he'll be able to have comes in like crash bang wallop. And you know what Callum's like with them catching fire shots.
Yeah.
If he lands one on him, I don't think he'll be able to recover, especially because of his age. Like I think
this is the other factor, isn't it? This is the other big factor.
He's 40 now. Do you know what I mean? And where some fighters are very active and stuff like that. I know Callum's not the most active, but neither's Beavertev. Do you know what I mean? So, like, if I was, I think like Beavertev will go into the favour. Obviously, he's unbeaten. He's knocked out everyone he's fought, but I would not be surprised if Callum Smith knocks him out because Beavertev's just going in crash bang wallop like he always does. I would not be surprised if Callum knocks him out. Like, if there's someone to beat him, it'll be him.
And you think as well with the rumours, isn't it, with Beterbiev and Bivol already looking at possibly have signed this 2-fight deal in Saudi as well. Yeah, surely that's going to be ahead of him though. He's going to be thinking that's there.
Do you know what? I think he's professional enough though to not be looking into his next fight. He might be confident enough to be thinking that, but I reckon he'll be fully fledged on fighting Callum Smith. Like if you look past Callum Smith, it'll be your own undoing. You'll get knocked out quicker than you can think about it. Do you know what I mean? But I just think right now that age always catches up on people, and I think Callum's only the same age as me, and he's fresh. He's never took any damage. Never really seen him hurt in any fight. I just think if someone's going to beat him, it'll be Callum.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right, especially after we saw the Joshua Wilder situation not so long ago, and that was all good to go, and then Parker upset the apple cart. It's the same situation.
I just don't think, that's what I mean. Some fighters get in the ring and they look like they've never been gone, where Wilder didn't look the same, did he? Like, he looked...
It was dreadful.
He looked 30, 40 pound lighter. He looked like a big super middleweight or something. Couldn't let his shots go, couldn't get in range. Looked like he hadn't done any sparring. He was just, his timing was off, couldn't land any shots.
But hats off to Parker, wasn't it? Parker was brilliant.
Yeah, I think him and Andy Lee come up with like a great game plan. I remember Andy Lee saying on an interview, saying something like not to run away from it, to like fight fire with fire, make him miss, make him pay, sort of thing. And I think that played to his advantage. He did stay in the pocket. He stayed right in front of him. He stayed on the front foot. And Wilder was just throwing punches at shadows. Couldn't really get a shot off. And credit to Wilder, he took a few bombs as well. Parker wins a few big, like he was throwing a baseball over the top and just nearly took his head off. But I think it was just a good game plan, and they got the job done. But I don't think Wilder, even if he was to fight again, I think he'll just be like getting his last few checks in. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, still, no matter what, he's still a big name, and he's still one of the best heavyweights we've had in this era for the generation we've had of heavyweights.
While I've got you off the back end of talking about Callum Smith as well, just one more scouse, Natasha Jonas against Michaela Mayer. Cracking fight.
Yeah, do you know what? I was in London, and obviously I'm good mates with Ellie Scottney, and I went with Ellie and her brother to fight Michaela, to spar her. So I've seen what she's like. Obviously, she was cutting major weight then, where obviously now she'll be just sitting at more of a walking round weight. But like Tasha does, like even in the Tasha's defeats, she always shows up. Do you know what I mean? And
quality.
Yeah, she's a really good fighter. She's like, for me, like especially in Liverpool, Tasha's carried women's boxing to like where it is. Do you know what I mean? Like all the young women in boxing in Liverpool, like have aspirations to go on and be like Tasha Jonas. Do you know what I mean? Like, and she really is like, she's like an idol in our city for women's boxing. Won all the belts, carries herself great, has time for everyone. And I know obviously it's going to be a hard fight for her, but like I'm fully backing it all the way, especially in a home city. She'll be thriving. She's been there, she's done it now, she's won all the belts, she knows what it's about. I just think she'll get the win 100%.
Yeah, That's what I've gone prediction wise. I think she could do her on points. I think the thing with Maya is she's really her range, her footwork. She's so
Yeah,
difficult to get at, but
yeah.
Tasha's got the experience. She's been there. She's not afraid to trade either, which
No,
Maya doesn't really like to.
it'll be cagey for the first few because it's Southport Orthodox and things like
Yeah,
that, and one of them will find a rhythm before the other one, and going off Tasha's last few performances, she's really found a rhythm. And if you're going off Maya's last performances, she had a fight since she got beat by. Since she got beat, I don't know if she has. When she got beat by,
what Maya?
yeah, she fought since.
I think it might have only been a
Like just a quick run out.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
see,
Didn't she fight Lucy Wildheart?
I can't think if she did, I missed it. But
Yeah.
I might be slightly biased on that one, because I like Tasha. Like I've knew Tasha since we were kids. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I think people overlook?
But I genuinely believe that in a hometown, no matter how much of a hard fight it is, I just believe she'll have enough to get herself over the finish line and get the win.
Yeah. No, definitely, mate. And Hakan here as well. I think Tasha wins it on a close decision. I think that's a fair shout.
Yeah, it's a fair shout. It'll be. I think it will be a good fight, especially early. That's what I was saying. Early doors, it'll be cagey, tit for tat. But like I was saying, off Tasha's last few performances, she really gets into a groove, and some of them she ends up knocking them out, stopping them.
Yeah, Tasha is the best female in the game. I don't think she gets the credit a lot of the time. I think a lot of people always pick out other names. Don't get me wrong, Katie Taylor and people like that are fantastic. But I think Tasha's been great for so long. She's always and in and out of the ring as well. She's a fantastic human being as well. And I think
I was in a charity football game with her.
really,
Yeah, see, that's another thing I've done since my leg. I played.
is there anything you don't do, Robbie? It's ridiculous.
And we were in a charity football game, and I can't remember what boxer it was, but someone, one of the boxers that I trained with Joe Mack, I think it was Kiago. I don't want to pronounce his name wrong, sorry. Joe the Irish lad, and like I know him as CJ. Do you know what I mean? And Tasha megged him and run past him. I was like, and now she can play fuzzy as well.
Yeah, there's not much that girl can't do, I'll tell you. Baturbiev will show his age versus Mundo. He's looking past Callum at Bivol. That's what Jan thinks. And yeah, to end with this one, a man of many talents is our Robbie.
You want to hear me sing?
We'll leave it there on that
one. Not tonight.
Honestly,
not
Robbie.
Tonight.
Yeah, you're an absolute star, mate. And it's just great to see you back doing what you're doing and to get you in that ring again soon. Hopefully the right fight comes along to kickstart you back to where you need to be. And then we can middle finger up to BoxRec as well.
Yeah.
Until they put you where,
where you should be. Yeah, that's it.
No, thank you very much, Robbie. Much appreciated. And as I say, love to the family as well. I hope everything goes well with you.
Right, nice one for that. Thank you.
No problem. You take care, mate.
And you.
Thank you, everyone, for watching me and Robbie. Hit the subscribe button and check out the rest of the content. But yeah, until then, Robbie, have some of this.
Nice one.